Every Data and android Brent Spiner played in Star Trek. When Star Trek: The Next Generation launched in 1987, Brent Spiner stepped into a role that would define not only his career but also Star Trek itself. The android Lieutenant Commander Data. With his pale skin, golden eyes, and childlike quest to understand humanity, Data quickly became one of the most beloved characters in the franchise. But what many casual fans might not realize is that Spiner didn't just play Data. Over the years, he brought to life a fascinating array of androids, prototypes, and even human counterparts, all connected to the Soong family legacy. From early prototypes with unsettling flaws to alternate personalities and emotional breakthroughs, Spiner's android performances formed one of the richest thematic through-lines in Star Trek. Let's explore every version of Data and every android Brent Spiner ever played in the franchise. 1. Data, the iconic Starfleet officer. Of course, everything begins with Data himself. Serving as Chief Operations Officer aboard the USS Enterprise D, Data was a marvel of 24th century artificial intelligence. He was capable of superhuman strength, rapid calculation, and encyclopedic knowledge. But what made him compelling wasn't his capabilities, it was his limitations. Data longed to be human. He studied humor, friendship, love, and morality, often with poignant or humorous results. Spiner played him with a delicate balance, precise and slightly stiff in mannerisms, but always radiating curiosity and warmth. Across the Next Generation, the 4 TNG-era films, and appearances in Star Trek, Picard, Data embodied Star Trek's deepest question: what does it mean to be human? Even when later androids entered the story, it was Data who anchored the theme with his emotional resonance. 2. Lore, Data's dangerous brother. Data wasn't the only Soong android roaming the galaxy. In the first season of TNG, audiences met Lore, Data's brother. Created earlier by Dr. Noonien Soong, Lore had superior emotional programming but lacked morality. Charismatic, manipulative, and cruel, Lore became one of Star Trek's most memorable villains. Spiner relished the chance to play Lore, letting loose with sly grins and dark charisma that contrasted with Data's innocence. Where Data struggled to fit in, Lore saw humanity's weaknesses as tools for his own gain. He allied with the crystalline entity, attempted to lead a colony of rogue Borg, and clashed with the Enterprise crew multiple times. The dynamic between Data and Lore highlighted one of Star Trek's classic themes: technology is only as good or evil as the values programmed into it. 3. B4, the simpler prototype, introduced in Star Trek Nemesis 2002, B4 was another Soong android discovered by the Romulans. Unlike Data or Lore, B4 was an earlier, less advanced prototype. Childlike in demeanor and limited in processing power, B4 was almost a tragic figure, a being with the form of Data but lacking the depth. Spiner played B4 with a slower, clumsier manner of speech and movement, emphasizing his simplicity. At the film's end, after Data sacrificed himself to save the Enterprise, a sliver of hope emerged. Perhaps Data's memories, downloaded into B4, could one day allow him to live again. Though Star Trek, Picard later revealed that B4 could not successfully integrate Data's complexity, his presence was crucial. He represented both the limitations of artificial life and the tantalizing possibility of Data's rebirth. 4. Juliana O'Donnell, Data's mother, indirectly. Here's where things get complicated. In the TNG episode Inheritance, Data met Juliana O'Donnell, his mother, and Dr. Noonien Soong's wife. But the truth was shocking. Juliana herself was an android. Though Spiner didn't directly play Juliana, that honor went to actress Fionnuala Flanagan. Her existence expanded the tapestry of Soong androids. Data realized he wasn't unique in being modeled after a human counterpart. This revelation deepened the lore and added a layer of bittersweet humanity to the android family tree. While Brent Spiner didn't portray Juliana, her story is worth including as it connected directly to Data's own identity quest and the recurring theme of Soong's creations blurring the line between human and machine. 5. Dr. Noonien Soong, the creator. Brent Spiner also portrayed Dr. Noonien Soong, the genius and eccentric scientist who created Data, Lore, and B4. Appearing in multiple TNG episodes, Soong was as brilliant as he was flawed, a man obsessed with his work but deeply caring for his children. Spiner's performance as Soong was layered, giving the old scientist a mischievous wit and paternal tenderness. He was both a creator playing God and a father figure burdened by the consequences of his creations. His presence cemented the Soong family legacy, which would echo across centuries of Star Trek storytelling. In Star Trek Picard, Spiner revisited this legacy, playing Soong's descendants, proof that while androids may rise and fall, the Soong obsession with artificial life persists. 6. Altan Inigo Soong, the next generation of Soongs. In Star Trek Picard Season 1, Spiner returned not as Data, but as Altan Inigo Soong, the biological son of Noonien Soong. Altan was also an expert in synthetic life and worked with Dr. Agnes Jurati on developing advanced androids. While not an android himself, Altan's presence tied Spiner back into the storyline of synthetic evolution. He became caretaker of a colony of advanced synthetic beings, continuing the family obsession with artificial intelligence. Here, Spiner subtly shifted gears, portraying Altan as weary, eccentric, and morally ambiguous. He wasn't the androids he once played, but he carried their legacy forward. 7. Data's daughters Alal and Beyond. The android family expanded again in the TNG episode The Offspring, when Data created Lal, his own daughter. While Spiner did not play Lal, the storyline was a natural extension of Data's arc, and Spiner's performance as Data during this episode was crucial. Watching Lal struggle with existence and ultimately fail to survive devastated Data and the crew. For fans, it was one of the clearest demonstrations of Data's humanity, even if he could not express grief in conventional ways. Later, in Picard, we saw the continuation of this theme with Soji and Dahj, android daughters, connected to Data's legacy. Though Spiner didn't portray them, their existence was a testament to the enduring influence of his character. 8. Lore's return in Picard. One of the biggest surprises in Star Trek Picard Season 3 was the return of Lore. After decades, Brent Spiner once again donned the smirk of Data's malevolent brother. This time, however, Lore and Data shared the same synthetic body, a creation of the Daystrom Institute that combined multiple Soong android personalities. The struggle for dominance between Data and Lore was as gripping as ever, allowing Spiner to switch seamlessly between the characters, often within the same scene. Lore's ultimate defeat and Data's triumph was a cathartic moment for fans. It symbolized not only the victory of compassion over cruelty, but also Spiner's ability to bring incredible depth to both sides of the android coin. 9. The final goodbye, Data in Picard. In Season 1 of Picard, fans received closure on Data's story. Within a digital afterlife housed in a quantum simulation, Jean-Luc Picard reunited with his old friend. Spiner played Data with quiet dignity, reflecting the character's journey from curiosity to acceptance. Data requested that Picard allow him to die, to experience the finite nature of life that defines humanity. It was a moving farewell, giving Spiner the chance to end Data's arc on his own terms. And yet, Season 3 brought Data back once more, this time in a fully integrated body that combined the